podcasts are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
When I think about those nights in Montreal, all I think about is weed. Memories of city lights and packing bowls. Oh, we tried to legalize it. How's it going?
Love that theme song. I just think
Yeah,
it's great. You can always, promote it.
I need to do it over again. And I keep saying that to Al, but I'd like to go out to do it in the studio instead of on some stupid app. But
I mean,
I rewrote the
well,
words. The words are mine. Like those, all I did was steal Gino Vanelli's background, but the words are all mine. Like I wrote them.
it's so Montreal to steal from Montreal.
I just want your tune, but I'll put my own words to that tune. So good evening, everybody, and welcome to CannaQuebec Connection. We are hailing from the Cranbrook, BC, the Chinaha Akam territory, and
Yes.
my friend Loretta, who's hailing out of Montreal, and
Yeah.
Canadian.
Canadian Kaha and Mohawk territory and others for sure.
Okay, so
That's where I am from. I am doing this from.
from my basement.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it in my room. I wish I could toke in here, but I can't. Damn.
I
You
know
know.
that's when you're
Oh,
out.
on these cold days, man. The fact that
I
there's
don't
no
have.
lounges,
No,
it's
I
just
smoke cigarettes
wrong.
too. And that's the thing. We need lounges. We need some
Oh,
more safe space to be able to go. But again, they wouldn't let you smoke joints in the lounges either.
well, we need ones that we can for sure because it just like to me it's like okay, sometimes there are exceptions when it's super cold out and I like I didn't walk today, but I walk most days. I just feel like it's really important out in the cold and whatever, but I take breaks too when it's really cold like today. But
Mm.
basically sometimes, if it's really cold but the air it's really still, then you can have a beautiful toke. It's really magical, in fact.
You know
But
what's
most of the
magical?
time, it's
Is when
fucking
you go.
windy. If your joint gets, no, it's not pleasant. And I don't. So yes, of course we need lounges. Especially now we're on the brink of World War III. We got Russia provoking, uh, definitely doing a battle cry, saber rat, what do they call that?
Ugh.
When they're
It's not
basically
what it is.
saber rattling, something like that. I think it's
No, it's
called
rebel
when
calling.
they're.
It's rebel calling for sure. He's saying, "You guys don't do this, and you guys don't do that. I'm gonna do this," and it's getting scary. I mean,
Yeah,
never
it's
mind
definitely scary.
everything that's going on here right now with this whatever. I don't want to give them much airtime. This anti-vax crusade across Canada. I'm not giving them any airtime tonight. None.
You mean the
Zero.
Karen convoy?
Zero
That
in
is
con.
that is the
They
funniest
get
meme
no airtime.
ever.
They get no
I know we
airtime.
don't want to give them airtime, but that is the funniest meme ever. And yes, sadly, there's a lot of them. They have a lot of money because there's a lot of rich Nazis that are, funding them. And I don't know how anybody could be, proud to be associated with that. It's appalling. But they've always been there. They've just been given license to, you know, be the loudest voice, even though they're the smallest voice in terms of population. They still are. But does that mean there's not millions of them or many of them? Yes, it
I'm not.
does.
There's probably about 3 million of them. I'm not giving them any airtime. No,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't. I'm not giving them any space. We'll talk about Russia though, because I'll give Putin a fucking Putin pants because he's pushing. You know what I mean? He's pushing. Like I said, we'll talk U.S. politics and stuff because, but I'm not
Yeah,
giving
for
them.
sure.
I'm
Okay,
not
yeah,
giving
I
them.
know
I'm
I
not
know
giving
you
them any
you
airtime.
got really like emotionally
I've
mad
had, you know
today.
what? I've been raging all day about it, and I'm just not. I'm done with it because you know
Yeah,
what?
no, it's better to
I don't.
acknowledge
It just
that and move on.
it just throws me into these because I worked in trucking for a long time. I was a dispatcher. I drove pilot truck. That was my profession. I still am a stakeholder with the Ministry of Transportation. And we believe in public health and safety, no matter what. Our guys are out there fucking plowing roads and fucking making sure that there's no ice in the road. Why? So you can be safe. You wear a fucking seatbelt in your car. But you want to fucking, they're grifting. They're a bunch of lying conservatives. It's a cult mindset, and they really are. They are really
They are
absolutely
definitely
grifting
grifting.
and
They're
scamming
grifters for
people.
sure. And they are
They are.
grifting.
They're grifting. They've made all this fucking money on a great big fat lie. Jason Kenney trying to show grocery store shelves empty. Then there's 20 fucking. Oh, I'm in Calgary at Walmart right now. Shelves are full. Oh, I'm in Costco at Stony Plain. Grocery shelves are full. I'm up in Tuktoy fucking Uktuk at the fucking superstore or the Walmart, and the shelves are full. And here's another news flash. All these fucking the prices in the north. The prices at Walmart in the north are the same fucking as the prices of fucking shit in the fucking Walmart here. Sorry to tell ya. Maybe some of these remote that they have to fly shit into them, their prices might be $10 a gallon for milk. Yes, not disputing that. But if you live in a city like Yellowknife or anywhere where it's big and they have a Walmart or a superstore or anything franchise chain, your prices are exactly the fucking same as they are down south.
Well,
because I've seen
there's going to be you look at there's other reasons that there's going to be supply chain fuck ups. There's this is we're going through a shift and we're going through a change of economics as well, and it's not bad. But yeah, there's going to be interruptions, and it's going to last probably for a while.
Did you catch this 1920s hat that I'm wearing? See, isn't this 1920s? It's fur. This is a 1920s hat. It's actually from the 1920s.
Wow, you little flapper.
Hats.
I'm going to call you Flapper Wild T.
And I wore this specifically because that's where I feel we're regressing back to. 1920, 1918, when the Spanish flu, First World War started 1921, right? Right during the fucking pandemic.
No, the first one started in 1914.
14, sorry.
And it ended. It ended by the flu may have had something to do with ending it too.
The flu was raging through the fucking First World War, and they had a president that didn't talk about it. Nobody talked about the Spanish flu. Nobody.
No, I know. It's so
there
fucked
were soldiers going back and forth. So this is my 1920s hat, and that's because that's where I feel we're sitting right now. We are sitting in a fucking the cusp of a pivot where we're going to end up either in a third world fucking war, and I mean that quite literally. Like if Putin actually pushes those fucking tanks across that border, that is a push, and nothing has been done like that since the fucking Second World War. He is pushing to a land war. We were in a Cold War the whole 80s and 90s. You know that. You and I grew up in a Cold War, being Gen Xers, right?
But I'm a baby boomer, or I'm in I don't know. I'm at the end of baby boom, so because I'm pretty old now.
I'm a Gen Xer. I'm 70s. I'm a 70s baby, so I'm definitely a Gen Xer. But we grew up in the 80s, always worrying about the Cuban Missiles Crisis. We did. It was something we talked about in social study on a number regularly because it was always in current affairs. You know how you had current events and current affairs and whatever you go in and you discuss the newspaper and the current events that were going on in that day and time. So in social studies all through the 80s, that's all we talked about.
Well, that's good. That's good.
So we grew up in a Cold War. I do not want my child growing up in a Cold War, and that's where we're sitting right now, or in a full-out fucking land war. Because I ain't going to last long. Somebody's going to push the button. So you won't have to worry about COVID. You won't have to worry about a virus.
No, like Kim Jong-un. I mean, he's so definitely
Chinese, North Korean,
not to be trusted on wanting to destroy humanity, perhaps. Same with Putin. I think he's really untrustworthy. And China is definitely a danger to Taiwan. They apparently have had several dozens of war planes going into Taiwan territory. And the thing is, these decisions to do this are very strategic because the United States is so war weary, fatigued out after 20 years in Afghanistan, and so are all the allies, and also Germany, I think, also is a little bit, I don't know if they're afraid of Russia or they tend to, they don't want to get on Russia's bad side. I'm not sure. It's so, but Europe's also, they must be more afraid because Russia's there close too.
Around everything since the Second World War, to be fair. Germany had to rebuild and fucking
Oh
base
yeah.
build
Oh
themselves from
yeah.
the bottom up. They're barely seeing any fucking
Yeah.
positive going on now. So for them to even step into either side of things, they're just like, can we just be like Geneva? Can we just sit back here like Sweden and just kind of like pretend that we're not here? You know what I mean? Same with Belgium and Austria. Like they're all just kind of like, can you just pretend that we're not here anymore? Like that's why they're, when they're talking about NATO and the countries that aren't really speaking out much. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about Belgium. You're talking about Austria. You're talking about the Netherlands. You're talking about Sweden, and they're all sitting there going, "Holy fuck! We didn't think we'd ever have to come here again. Here we are. It's
Because
been
nobody
fucking
wants
70
it, and
fucking years."
that's also to
70
Putin's
fucking years,
advantage.
75 years since the last fucking World War.
Yeah, no, but the people don't want it either, and the Russian people don't want it, and they know that he's doing
Putin
this
does
too
not care about the Russian people.
to
The Re-
distract his
He,
people
he does
from
not
their
care.
woes.
He does not care. He does not care. You know
No, he
what? He does
doesn't
not
care.
care.
I know, you're right.
He
He
does
doesn't
not
care.
care about the Russian people. He has not cared about the Russian people since communism fell. And then he allowed capitalism and he allowed the gangs and the corruption and the bullshit. And he's left people fucking on the streets starving. Their dental care, their medical, everything is falling apart over there. Like it's ridiculous. Putin does not care about his people. He doesn't. That's why if he goes to war, he doesn't give a shit if somebody comes in and bombs off Russia. It's less mouths that his government might have to feed. He does not care. And that's a sad fucking reality about it. Because these dictators get themselves in the position where they actually absolutely lose control. They've got no taxation set up. They've got no social system set up at all. And they don't even know how to begin setting them up to tax people. And then they took the tax money that they did get, shoved it in their pockets, and made $1 million fucking mansions with it. So there's no money to put into any infrastructure, any medical, or any education because he stuck it all in his ass in his pocket.
Oh yeah,
Like
he's probably, people
built
think
like a
of
great big huge fat military. Well, military doesn't feed your people. The
yeah, well,
military doesn't
people think like
infrastructure.
Bill Gates, and of course he's a billionaire, and of course Elon Musk, but I bet you Putin's a gazillionaire too because he's ripped off
He's ripped off
everybody.
Russians.
You
You
know
bet.
what I mean? Like
And there's
he's
not, like I
just
said, and he's got no social programs allowing for his people. So his people are pissed off too. Like the average Russian is not a huge fan of fucking Vlad. They're like, Vlad, what are you doing over there, man? Like seriously, like none of their, because like I said, he's left them in squalor. I was watching a video on TikTok. I hate to say this, but there's Russians on TikTok, and they get their oil pumped in, like, and they have to wait for the oil to be brought in by the government. And they have like great big fucking like pipes like this to go up and through the streets to fucking to fill the boilers in their apartment buildings with fucking oil. Well, they don't have any, and it's freezing over there. You don't hear that because
yeah.
people don't fucking. You don't see that shit on the news. But there are people freezing and starving in Russia. So if you think that, so in hindsight, he needs a war to build an economy, right? Because let's face it, a war will fucking start bringing back his economy.
There's
And if his
always an
economy
economy,
is
a good
failing,
economy after a war. It's
right?
true.
So you know what I'm
Heck
saying with
yeah.
this? Like I said, the 1920s, love my hat because that's
Oh
where I feel
yeah,
that.
you're like
Right back there.
Flapper Wild Tea, a little flapper girl.
We're there. Anyways, I'm smoking. See how nice and gray this is burning? I agree with this. I'm smoking my own weed.
I think that's amazing, and your plants looked awesome.
Well, they're dead now. Well, they sacrificed their lives.
And they smelled so good, you said, but you didn't
And
get
they
too
taste
many.
really good. I didn't get a lot off of it though. Like, and the buds are kind of light and scabby because I'm using LED lights, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm not using, and I didn't do like I said. The trimming was kind of like as I go to smoke it because I don't want. Yeah,
yeah.
well, it turned out good.
Look
It
at
doesn't.
it's it's always lovely. You'd always taste really special when you smoke your own weed.
This camera sucks.
And it always yeah, it's always got like a sweet, and I feel like
It
it's
tastes
when
good.
you've done it,
Good.
when you've
Yeah.
grown it, it gives you something extra a little special too.
Well, like I
It's
said, these
just
are like
weird
this.
how that maybe that I'm sure it's the same with tomatoes and cucumbers, but it
You know,
definitely works with
this is a fucking cucumber.
cannabis where you get a little special kiss from the mama weed.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, like I said, again, it didn't produce a lot. It was only 2 plants, of course, right? Like, I mean, you're not going to get pounds off 2 plants unless you've got like either outside or you've got, and I
No,
don't like
massive
using the
plant. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
LED
yeah,
lights.
yeah.
I only grew them to be like 2.5 feet tall. They weren't like 5 foot monsters. So, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I showed Alvin the jar. He goes, "That's all we got." I'm like, "Yeah, we had 2 plants and they were only 2 feet tall and like, probably 2 feet around. Like, they were beautiful. But I mean, I could have let them grow a little bit more. I mean, it's like watching paint dry. to be fair. Well, growing weed is like watching paint dry. It's the most painstakingly slow process you'll ever have in your whole life. It's like, oh my God. Oh, that looks really good. Another week. Oh my God, it hasn't grown, it,
Whereas, I've been making hash, and that's fun because you get to see results pretty quickly. Like it's cold, and I'm doing the ice bubble hash, and it's very cold. I put my hands in it when I'm trying to squeeze in and swish it around a little bit. I got the machine, but so it's my hands are cold, and they hurt after a while.
oh
But
yeah.
then I don't think about the side pain that I have. So it's like, oh,
You're still dealing with that.
distracted pain therapy, ice, it's cold, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but it
Yeah.
works, and then of course, it's like I feel like I'm a little bit of a sailor, a pirate, a miner, or whatever, with my bags and whatever what I'm doing, and I'm like, I got to trade, woo, and and then at the end you get gold. It's like yay, yeah. So you
Yeah.
get results
Yeah.
right away, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't mind. Like I said, it was nice to have that little extra to,
Oh, for sure. Oh, for
you know,
sure.
and like I said, it's not like anything. It's nothing's really getting me loaded anymore. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I got this vape pen. Thankfully, I had it today because I was feeling a little bit like ragey. So I
Yeah.
cut down on the raginess by, I had this like chewing this in my mouth all day long because it's the only thing that kept me from like, besides cutting my fingers off. Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you know what I mean. I think they are these yellow vesters that
Yeah.
wanted to do this again. And
Yeah.
when things get, they probably like got all their sons and grandsons and maybe
Whatever. Like
daughters and nephews and nieces. Like they
I
probably
am
all got
all
them trucks too to drive. You know what
I've
I
got
mean? Like,
family that might have family that work in trucking. I am all for trucking. Like I said, I've worked in trucking. Half my life was trucking. I am not in full support of people that are taking advantage of other people for money to begin with. And secondly, when I saw the tiki torches over them holding tiki torches when they were standing in the whatever overpass they were standing on the other day when they were doing their live feed from wherever the fuck it was, and I saw guys standing there with tiki torches, I went, I'm out. I'm out. Now I'm starting to see where this is going. I see the big fuck Trudeau flags that were running during the campaign, the PPC campaign. Same black. I'm out. And it's got nothing to do with my partisanship. It's got nothing to do. I'm not a bigot. And I don't see them making that big of a stink of a noise as the pipeline's going through a certain land. Where's the fucking convoy for that? And when you're talking about pro-choice, I hope you're fucking going for women's health and women and abortion too, because pro-choice and body autonomy, you have to have a medical fucking exam to even hold a class 1 driver's license. So every fucking 3 years you have to have a finger shoved up your ass and you're worried about a fucking vaccine.
but they're
And then
just babies. But they're
and
babies.
that's,
Look at. I
that's
said today.
standard.
I said
And
today,
everyone, you
and
have
this
to have
is
drug tests. If there's an incident, you have to have random. There is zero tolerance for drug and alcohol in the trucking industry. There's zero. So if you get drug tested, you have to have criminal record checks. You can't even cross the U.S. border with a criminal record unless you have a $10,000 U.S. waiver, and that includes if you have a DUI. So when they're crying about a fucking vaccine, shut the fuck up. You guys have to go through way more than that to get across. And if you just stop,
sure. But listen,
stop.
I get threatened with, in violence sometimes or whatever. They want to hurt me or kill me because, I say things like, do you think we can get
That's
some
not
of
right
that
on any
Nazi
level.
money to start the whiner awards? Because they're fucking whiners. That's why it's so funny, that meme that they've all got these, blonde, Karen haircut, whatever that means. I'm not even, poor Karens out there. I'm sorry, but
I don't know that. I don't.
like it's just no, it's just they're they
And
are white supremacists. That's a thing, and they're right wing. And I just like some of the
that's what's
people I
bothering
know
me
who
is
are
they're duping
stoners or
people.
whatever. I just can't believe that you really want to be
They
associated
really
with
are.
that.
Like they're duping people because what's happening is they've gone off with facade of doing the right thing and we're going to talk man, but they're pandering to the same people that went and fucking protested at hospitals. They're the same people that went and harassed our fucking nurses.
Yes.
They're the
No, I
same people
know.
that are harassing our fucking
Not all of them,
our
clearly, but
vaccine.
yes. No, I know. It's
No,
sad. Like, I mean, there's
not
those
all of them.
followers,
But here's the
obviously,
thing:
but
now that they've got this whole new facade of following, they're making a little more noise because even people that I wouldn't even think are following them now. And I'm like, are you fucking you're fucking kidding me, right? Like I didn't just see that. I didn't just see that. And then I did. I just saw that. And it was like, you're fucking kidding me. I can't do this. So I just politely say nothing and move along because you want to fucking follow them, you go right ahead. But it's a facade of bullshit. They're
yeah.
grifting cash. They're fucking lying to their the woman that was standing up to that organizer, she's like, we're here to she couldn't even speak. And then they ask another guy, he's like, he has the IQ of a 12-year-old. Like seriously, at least you go and talk to somebody that's educated driving the trucks. Because I'm not saying the truck drivers are uneducated either. I'm not.
No, they're not. Of course not.
They're hardworking, good people. Like I said,
Yeah,
I
of course.
know hundreds of them, hundreds of them. And the few little ones that are, out there, I'm gonna lose my job because I don't have a fucking job. Seriously, like it's getting old, folks. It's just old, drawn out, blithery. And I just don't know how else to put it. It's just old. It's just done. I'm just done with it.
I know. I just want to point out, even though that I write these outrageous things on Facebook, and I'm always in Facebook, jail, or I'm, somehow downgraded so nobody can see my page for 3 months usually. Today I helped possibly an anti-vaxxer, and it had to do with the mama weed because, I was walking by and I was close to a government store, and this guy was like, first of all, he goes, and this happens to me all the time. Excuse me, sir. And I go, yes. And he goes, oh, are you going in the weed store? And I go, well, no. He goes, and I go, oh, you're not vaxxed? And he goes, oh, I have one. I just haven't got my second one. And I go, sure, I'll go in. So I went in and got him crushed cookies. And I got one for me. I decided, okay, today's the day I'm going to
Yeah, I
actually
think
buy
I can bring
something.
this up. Can you see this? Are you watching? Hang on. Okay, hang on. There we are. How do I get this so that there's only so the background's more out?
Oh, you're showing the Karens. Yeah, the Karen convoy.
This is the Karen.
Oh, that's
This is the Karen
hilarious. That is so funny.
Truckers for Freedom.
Yes.
Karens. Hang on.
So I did have some government cannabis today. It was only 3.5 in a big jar, as everybody complains about, and it was kind of dried out, but it was tasty. I will say that. But anyways, that was kind of funny. So I basically said to him, "But you're getting your second shot, right?" Like shaming him.
Right.
I said, "Yes, yes, yes." It's probably lying, but so I was nice to maybe an anti-V.
It's not nice to them. It's got nothing to do
Well,
with
I don't
being
think they're all like the worst of the worst
it's
of
got
these
nothing to do with
assholes. Like I do think there's a lot of confused, kind of nice people in there too, and just whatever. I do. I think there's some, I don't think they're all the same, obviously, but man, like, why would you want to be associated with that group? Because it is a fucking white supremacy group that's funding it. Like, why would you want to be associated with that? Like, that's shameful. That is just downright shameful, and that's all there is to it.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm just kind of smoking my plant.
Yeah, there's no point. Like I know, people saying, "Oh, we can't beat them. We shouldn't be so angry at them and whatever." But
I got an angry face on our live feed, so somebody's watching that's angry, and probably blocked so that we can't see their comment.
We're provocative.
Face there. Are you angry? What are you angry about?
No, who cares? No, it can't. The algorithm does feed off of our anger. It's true. So we can't really
angry. I just
care
think it's
that much.
I honestly do. Anyway,
Yeah.
it could be any one of a number of people.
Yeah, and it's important for it not to let not to get you. I mean, I don't know. I guess it'll be interesting to see what happens when they get to Ottawa and how how they're dealt with. Like, I feel like they've been given way too much leverage all the time in their stupid protesting. So nice to see, like, but the vaccinated side isn't gonna like go and have a confrontation with them. Thank God, actually, because why bother? They're just like on a losing side. It's just ridiculous. 85% of Canadians, are not on their side. So
Apparently we've upset Mary.
what?
Apparently we've upset Mary.
Who cares? Who's Mary?
The lady that put the angry face on the feed.
Get over it, Mary. Get over it, Mary. We believe that people should, care
Was she
about other
upset
people.
about it? Is she upset about that, or is she upset about the fact that we're smoking weed, or is she upset that we're doing a cannabis show?
Yeah.
Or is she upset about the war?
Oh, maybe she's upset about Putin.
Like,
That we don't like Putin.
like, what are you? We're not communists because we're not following Putin. Like, what are you angry about, Mary?
There's people who are not going to like us. We know that, and it's okay.
I mean, come on.
We're not here to be. We're not here for the popularity contest.
I'm here for that.
Some of us never were.
But seriously, what are you angry about? Because we're not here to. It's not our task in life to make you happy. Our task is to educate you about things that bother some people, which, cannabis education is something that we had to fight against. And when I see people out there, and same with women's rights, and when I see people out there screaming about my body, my choice, and they're not speaking for women's health, that makes me angry too, Mary.
Yeah, of course.
And you know what else makes me really angry is we fought for freedom for cannabis legalization, and there are people that are using that to stand off of. And
that really pisses me off.
And guess what, Mary? That makes me super angry too. That people.
Yeah, it makes me angry too. Because I was on the front lines of the HIV crisis, and yeah, that makes me very angry. So you think you're angry, Mary?
You think you're angry, Mary? Take your little angry face and chuckle off.
Yeah, it's yeah, exactly.
Chuckle off.
So what's our next topic? Nothing is going on in Quebec except, Legault, who I don't like, did make some great political moves by threatening the tax. It worked. We're probably going to have a 90% vaccination rate.
But he did make it so that you had to have a vaccination cue card to go into a cannabis store.
Absolutely.
Which is just like.
Yeah, no, that I experienced that today. And
that's what you were talking about. That was the story that you were talking about.
Yeah, it's definitely in effect, and I'm sure that it's pissed off a lot of people, but I'm sure it was a great motivator for people to get the jab. And the same with like the income tax fine, that really motivated people to go and get the jab. So at the end of the day, in Quebec, maybe we'll get up to 90%, but we could get up to 85%, which is pretty amazing. I mean, it still means there's a lot of people not vaxxed, but 85% is probably one of the best in the world. Canada is doing amongst the best in the world, actually, in terms of having a high vaccination rate. I don't know where we're at on that, but I'm pretty sure we're over 80% by now.
Well, while we take a break, we've got to take a break here and thank our lovely sponsors.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Vaccination rates and stuff are.
We are so grateful. So grateful.
And then we'll come back and talk about, I don't know, harm reduction, see what's going on around.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because I think there's some more money being put into mental health and stuff here in the next little bit. Because the Liberals been like doling out cash again.
Okay.
Don't know where it's all coming from, but they're just rolling. I gotta find where I am.
Making money in the back room, maybe. I don't know.
Must be all that cannabis.
Why not? Do it. You do it for rich people. Do it for some of the rest of us.
Okay, I'm also gonna run this quick memorial. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna not bother. I'll do that another day. Okay, we'll be right back. We've been watching us live, as crazy as we are, on the CannaQuebec Connection and the Pace Radio Network page, as well as Pace Radio Network on YouTube. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Growing your own cannabis is easier than you think. Whether you're growing for recreational or medical purposes, BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. From the standard 4-plant recreational systems to the latest cutting-edge hydroponic equipment, BMA can customize your package and do it at discount prices. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville and ask us for a free estimate. Or call 613-967-9888 and we will give you an estimate over the phone.
The only way to go.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888. And grow on with CP.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
The People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network, found at paceradio.net, provides its listeners with news, information, and a place to be heard. This is done through our 5 weekly live video and audio broadcasts that cover cannabis and psychedelic news, plus those we interview. We get started Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Reefer Reporters. Then at 9 p.m. we're live with CannaQuebec. Tuesday brings you Open Your Eye or the Psychedelic Reporters at 7 p.m. Wednesday at 8, we are live with the Pace Radio Show. But we're not done yet, because on Thursday, the Reefer Reporters return with another Reefer Report. Meanwhile, once a month, Thursdays bring you the Grassroots Advocate, the Pace Radio Network's audio magazine. All these shows, plus more, are found right here on paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Howdy.
All right, so I found some stats on the COVID-19 tracker. It doesn't look good. But I mean, they're saying that, we're having to basically live with this. So, again, when it comes to cannabis and having to be vaccinated to get access to that in Quebec, I don't think that any other provinces, I know Alberta and Saskatchewan, none of them are going to do that. They're just not.
No, I don't know. No, Quebec's been the hardliner and the outlier.
Really, but I mean, we're looking at the fact that Quebec has 8,384,000 or 83,008. How do I read this?
What's the percentage in Quebec? Do you know?
838,437 cases in total since beginning.
Yeah, no, that's why we have to do what we've got outrageous numbers.
But today they're up 16,002 cases in the whole country across the country.
Yeah, it's
141 deaths. It says plus. I don't think that's right. I don't think I'm reading this right. Anyways, and the fact of the matter is it's slowing down businesses and everything else that you're able to do, right? So, I don't know. Like I said, growing your own is the best, way.
But I mean, I also think we're turning a corner on this pandemic too. We will. and people will get their rights back, and blah blah blah.
We haven't lost
You
any
know,
rights.
and then it'll be like, what are you going to
That's the
whine
thing, we
about
haven't really
then?
lost any rights.
About
We
how
haven't
the
lost any
government
rights.
doesn't really care that much about you and didn't want to control you for the rest of your life.
What rights have we lost?
What?
I haven't lost any rights. What rights have I lost?
Well, here, for example, you do have to wear a mask everywhere, and
That's not a right that's lost. That's just a
no,
mandate. Right
that's what I meant. Like, just the
what rights have we
restrictions will
lost?
be.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, they're gonna recover our lost rights. What rights have we lost? We haven't lost any.
No, you're right. It was a wrong word, but basically their view is that they've lost all these rights and they're fighting for freedom, and then when in 6 months, when you don't need a passport, and although you might to go to other countries, because that's just the way countries, that's just how it goes.
We had cannabis activists walking around in Toronto wearing yellow stars on their fucking coats.
Okay, that's embarrassing. That's just like
that
is so
These
embarrassing.
are people that we stood with and marched in global marijuana marches and stood up for,
please.
And now they're acting like a fucking bunch of, and I'm not kidding you, running around with yellow stars at anti-mask rallies.
Yeah, that's insane.
That crosses a fucking line for me.
That's just insane.
And that's exactly, but these are cannabis activists that are doing this.
I mean, that is like such a form of anti-Semitism. It's just disgusting that they think that's why I call it like heavily Nazi money funded. Like, and it is. That's what people need to when people get mad and say, oh, you're being too negative and divisive. Like, understand what you're fucking dealing with here, people. Open up your dumb eyes.
Right?
Jesus
and then they
Christ.
wonder why you're not following along. That's why I'm not following along. Because I just think that's the most disgusting, inhumane, bigoted thing anybody could ever do.
Exactly.
It's a bigoted thing to do.
Yeah.
Like that. I just can't even fathom. I just can't even fathom it. It makes me want to throw up.
It's embarrassing.
You see pictures of somebody that I used to, kind of idolize in a way, and then I saw the light, walking around with a yellow star on his coat at an anti-mask rally.
Wow. No, that's
I'm not
insane.
gonna give him any airtime either.
No, I know, but I will say this: I am curious about what's going to happen with Karma Syed when she goes to, she's going to be going to Ottawa, I guess, I don't know, to interview some of the truckers. I'm not sure, to document it or to do cartoons, or that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Don't you think?
I just hope there's no violence.
Well, of course not. But, unfortunately, the violence is in the air these days. I know that's true.
And that's my biggest fear. Is that there's going to be violence. We're going to have this
guns,
shit show that happened at the Capitol happen here. And all this anger and this hate over something that really should just be a moral obligation.
Yeah, I know.
And then in reality, it should be just a moral obligation. If you have any morals about your fellow man, it's like cannabis too. Like, the plant's supposed to be healing, and now we've got all this competitive bullshit and all this fucking industry and all this hate and jealousy over something that was supposed to be free for everybody. That's now been made into $1 million.
But people are just wired to. People are wired to,
hate and jealousy, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting, and it's showing up in the cannabis community. It showed with, like I said, once legalization. It's like there's some people that are still maintaining just the plant, but it's so tough where there's so much hate and division. Like I said, I seen it when we were protesting, even for cannabis. There was always those people that didn't like what our message were. Oh no, you're a bunch of hippies. Oh,
yeah,
you're deluded. You don't have a brain cells rubbed together. Like, don't you see what the cannabis is doing to your brain? Your brain on drugs. You don't have a brain cells rubbed together.
I
remember
you're a Joanna.
You're a bonehead. Where's my beer?
Joanna and I were talking, and some woman came by. Joanna and I were talking like after some parade or something, and we're sitting down like having a rest. That's having a toke, and some like woman came by who was kind of dressed up, and she like looked at me. She's like, "Aren't you too old for that?" I go, "Excuse me, this is Nathan." Like, it just blew me away. She was like so obnoxious, like.
Right. And I mean, let's
So
face it,
yeah, people feel
the
entitled
internet has given
to like
people the
express
ability to
their
even do like
stupid
we are
views.
right
It's
now.
true.
Like the internet's given everybody a platform to sit and spew whatever they wanted to their face. And people either listen and agree or don't agree. And if they don't agree, they come at you really hard. And that's the thing. There's just no etiquette. Nobody's got any manners. Like, they just come slamming and swinging. And it's like, would you do that if I was sitting
Well, we
in
swing back though, girlfriend.
you know
Don't
what?
forget
I've
that.
had
We do swing back. We don't like we don't go nice. We go like what and
But
then
in
get
reality,
freaked out.
it's just like wow, like the internet's really opened a door of misogyny,
Oh
um,
yeah.
narcissism,
Yeah.
entitlement, opinionated,
White privilege
privilege.
whiners. That's what most of them are.
I'm
Sorry
not
to
even gonna
say.
say. I'm not even gonna put anything on it. I'm just gonna say privilege in general.
Well, white privilege in a big way. White
That
privilege
too.
whiners.
But there's a lot of privilege
Crybabies.
on just
Sorry to say it
overall.
like that.
But yeah, like I said, the market that we try to, open up, and there's people still battling in the gray that are trying to stay alive, and then they've got the legalized, markets that are oversaturated, and some of the stuff's good and some of it's not so good, and it's in COVID they were essential, right? That's one thing that we kind of snickered about is that they made the cannabis stores an
Yeah. Very
essential,
soon. Very soon.
right?
Very soon after very soon after the pandemic, right away, the cannabis stores were considered essential.
Yeah.
Which was a smart move on their part, actually, and they knew it.
But I mean,
That's
look
when
at
they
how
started
long
making money.
and they ran around lying to but like I said, remember what government we had that we had to fight so hard with cannabis was? It wasn't the liberal government that we had to fight really hard for cannabis. It was the conservatives that we had to
Oh
fight
God, they were
really hard
impossible.
for it. So remember so when people go, oh, I
Yeah.
don't trust the government, I'm thinking, if it was Stephen Harper running our government right now, I'd be fucking
Sure.
going, yeah, fuck you, I don't believe the
Yeah,
government.
we get it.
But the thing of it is, they did lie. The conservatives have lied about climate change. They still down
Everything.
climate change.
Everything.
They lied about cannabis to us for
Oh,
decades. And
everything.
then
Just
fought
the
us every
worst.
step of the way on
About
legalization.
queers, everything.
People
About
support Section
fucking
56.
everything.
The conservatives fought us so hard on cannabis legalization, and like so and again lied about climate change, did nothing for the First Nations people. There was a lot of things that they did lie about. So if there was conservatives still running our country, I think I'd be, but I just laugh because they're lying again. You got Pierre Poilievre
Oh
fucking
yeah.
screaming about inflation rates when it's a world problem.
That's
You
why
got
it's going to be interesting to
Jason
see.
Kenney saying that grocery stores shelves are empty, and they're not. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It's just
know. Here's a question for you, Wild T. And it was given to Aaron O'Toole today. Will Aaron O'Toole? He was asked, and he refused to answer. Will he meet the truckers when they get to Ottawa? What
No,
do
he
you
did.
think?
He said that nobody that works in Parliament Hill should engage in any protest or go and meet with any protesters at any time
Oh,
when
did
they're
he
in
say
Parliament
that?
Hill.
Oh, I got the news on Global that he didn't answer.
No, he was on
Interesting.
CBC. Oh no, he said that he didn't believe that anybody should go down there, and
Oh,
he
that's
hasn't
him. Like,
commented,
oh, what a
and he knows that
that
some
was
of
a.
his MPs have commented, and he doesn't condone them.
Isn't that interesting? Because that's an interesting way of avoiding it. That's interesting. But I wonder about Polyev. I mean, some of those backbenchers are gonna meet with him. You know it for
Oh,
sure.
that little fucking quibbling little piranha. Of course he'll go out there with his little.
Who?
Oh, Pierre Poilievre, that little piranha.
Oh, I know. He's so
Don't you remember?
weaselly. He's such
Oh
a
my God,
weasel.
were you not there at the convention when he walked up the elevator when we were standing? Were you not with me? Or maybe it was just me and Kelly and Hannah Thibodeau.
I
We were all
feel like
standing
it.
there, and fucking Pierre Poilievre
I
come
think I was there too. Yeah.
up the fucking or up the escalators, and I go, "Who let that fucking clown in?" or something really loud. Kelly's like, "Don't shut up." I'm like, no.
You know
Oh yeah,
what? He's going to try and be leader of the party, and he might win next time. Because we
he's not
don't,
gonna.
like you said, O'Toole probably doesn't have much
He's
time left.
I don't think Pierre's gonna run because he didn't run the last time because of his family. He's got small kids. He didn't want to put his family through the fucking bullshit. Did you not see those protesters protesting outside that MP's office or MLA's office in Toronto or Ontario? Where the hell did I see that? That
Whose
was
office?
I was on Twitter. Some MP or MPP in Ontario, I think, but there was a bunch of protesters protesting outside their house again.
Disgusting behavior.
And like I said, protesting. We've protested. We protested lots. We just did it with respect. Because
but these
good trouble's
idiots
one
think they're
thing.
activists.
But
They're
the thing
not
is, there is good
activists.
trouble. Good
They're
trouble's one
attention
thing.
seekers.
But have fucking respect with the good trouble so that you don't make all the rest of the activists look bad. Because
There's a big difference between activists and attention seekers, and that's all they are. They're not fucking
I wouldn't want to go
activists.
protest anything
Idiots.
right now. I'd be so somebody would want to come up and confront me about something. Like it was hard enough going out on the old streets of Alberta protesting and doing our global marijuana marches and that kind of stuff as it was in Alberta. I would hate to have to do it now. And somebody, well, it's legal now, so that, but any protest, it's just terrible. That's
they're taking this trip, and yet it changes. There's no outcome that's gonna work for them. And if they want to turn it into, some violent event, that would be to their own.
That's my fear.
And I just hope there's a ready response that's adequate to deal with them. Let them have their day, whatever, blocking traffic to some extent. They, not fully.
They have
and then
right to protest. I mean,
what's that?
They have every right to protest. That's a gift.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, they're big trucks too. They don't have the right to block traffic in the whole city of Ottawa. You know what I mean? Around Manel, they don't. I don't know how they're gonna. That's the thing. I don't know how they'll, accommodate that. But I guess we'll find out.
Well, it's not like they haven't given the Ottawa cops notice that they're on their way.
Yeah, everybody knows they're coming. But I mean, I hope there's a plan in place to deal with them, because it's going to cause definitely.
Well, it's not that they
it's
can
definitely going to cause a problem, like in Ottawa, for sure.
Is there not fucking construction still going on the hill?
Yes, there is.
So, where do they think? It's hard enough to get around the front of the fucking Parliament with a car as it is. You can't just pull in front of the fucking. There's cop cars and fucking cops everywhere all the time. You can't just pull up in front of Parliament Hill in your truck.
I don't know if they'll be able to really. Maybe they'll say you can for the day, but they can't really stop traffic all over the. You know what I mean?
There is no way. There is no way they're going to get anywhere near the front doors of Parliament Hill in their trucks.
No, they wouldn't. But
they pass the Peace fucking Fire and up through the round parking through the round truck. There's no way. There's too many cops. Those cops will have them stopped in no time flat. In fact, when we were there was cops fucking lined up for absolutely no reason. And like I said, there's construction going on. And even for a pot rally, they had a fucking 25 cops. I couldn't even bring my camera into the Parliament Hill. They took my camera away when we went into the green room. We took our coats off and went through security to go into the Parliament building.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I couldn't take my camera in there.
They're going to have a plan for them for sure, because they will definitely, it's definitely going to be a big problem for driving around Ottawa. That's for sure.
We didn't drive. None of us drove.
What?
None of us drove. We all trudged.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is why I'm curious about how this one will look. Where they'll go.
Me and Russ and Christine took a bus. It was freezing fucking cold too.
Was it ever? How many years ago was that, bud?
It was 2011.
Was it?
Yeah, because it was the year that I flew out to get my license, and I stayed there, and we did the protest, and then I drove with Vicky Fleming to Cohill to see Dr. Cameron, and then I came back and flew home.
Wow.
Yep.
Was it in February?
Yep. It sure was. It was like February 4th.
It was one of those chilly days where the hairs inside of your nose turned into like little icicle
And I was
daggers
wearing like
and started stabbing your face.
black dress pants with no long johns or anything off. And I did have boots and stuff on, but oh my God, that wind coming off the fucking
Oh,
off the river.
yes.
And you're walking, like I said, we took a bus to Parliament Hill. It's like, it's fucking cool out here. And Russ and Christine, like Russ was like bundled right up, and so was Christine. I was like freezing my fucking arse off. Like, let me tell you, it was not fun.
I remember
Are we
being
gonna get in? And then when we get there, we can't find Allison. We can't find Elizabeth May was supposed to come with us, which she did show up, and Carolyn Bennett, and then Adam Greenblatt, and well, you were there. You were you in the green room too? No, I don't think you were in the green
I
room.
don't know if I was there with you. I just remember
But
being
you
in
were
the
at
restaurant.
the restaurant.
I was
With
there in the
us.
restaurant with you and
Right.
Allison.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, because
I remember being outside and it being just so cold. It was just crazy.
Yeah, I got pictures of
It
us.
was hurting. It was like,
Oh my God. Debbie was there. Stoltz Giffen was there too.
yeah.
And Allison and Naomi and Chelsea. Everybody was there. That was the year that we all kind of conglomerated. So that was 2011. It was 10 years, last year? So this would be 11 years.
Wow.
Right? 2011 to 2022. What is that? How many years is that?
11 years. Yeah.
11 years, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a long time, but boy, did it ever go by fast. That's, I know, cliche.
It has gone by really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Really fast.
But we accomplished something there, and it was momentous for sure. And we haven't had many experiences, where we could have come together and be a community and do some work. Like we got a little taste of it, but we didn't, have like years of being able to do that because we were also spread out. You know what I mean?
Well,
That
even in
kind of
Toronto, even
sucks.
in Ottawa, like the cities are so big, and like you have 2 or 3 people in one part of the city, and 3 or 4. Because like I know that even in Calgary, like even in Lethbridge, we tried trying to keep a community together. But if I lived in Tabor, and then there was 4 people in Lethbridge, and back then it wasn't legal still yet, so everybody was kind of in the closet. They were always getting drug tested if they worked in the oil patch. Like nobody was really able to be out there saying, "Yeah, we smoke weed, and there's nothing you can do about it," right? And by the time it got legal, it was 2017. I've been here, right? So the whole time that we were doing the legalization, all smoke code, it was a really small community because the people that even I smoked weed with then, like behind the closet and in the closet, still smoke weed now. They don't, and they're still in the closet. They're not going to be out there, or there's nothing for us to protest anymore. But that's why we go out there in the small groups we did, because there were so many people behind us that we were speaking for. And that's what I mean. I had nursing friends, people that worked in healthcare, people that, drug tested for their oil jobs. They couldn't be out protesting and saying, "Hey, I want legal weed." They would have lost their jobs, right?
No, I know. I know. Look at, we had, some of us had to be big mouths, like, because other people couldn't be. There's no question about that. But we were always dispersed, and it just always seemed to feel hard to actually do a lot of work. I just always wanted to do so much more than what we were doing, but it was hard. It was pretty hard, and I noticed too that it's hard to change your behaviors when, for so many decades, you're always looking over your back, and you have certain behaviors from criminalization that not necessarily going to go away. And also, like, here sometimes people still kind of act like it's illegal, like kind of the looks you get smoking it on on the street, even if you're being whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and there's still sometimes, well, some of these, attitudes and things that people believe, like that weed's bad for you and it ruins your brain and blah blah
That's
blah. I'm still like dealing
yeah,
with conversations like that, and it's like,
yeah.
So
There are people that still believe that though.
yeah,
Like that actually believe that cannabis is harmful to your body and cannabis is harmful to you. and that it's, a gateway drug. There are people out there that still believe that.
Yeah.
And that's like the unfortunate thing, is that they're not willing to see past what they believe in their reality, right? So to them, oh my God, you smoke cannabis, you're a drug addict. And I'm serious. Like, that's what some people go, really? You smoke weed? You don't look like you'd smoke weed. You smoke weed? You don't look like you'd smoke weed. And I'm like, what am I supposed to look like smoking weed? Like, what am I supposed to look like? Right? Like, but it's like, then you have the other ones like, oh my God, you smoke weed? That's the devil's lettuce. Like,
yeah. No, I know. It's like I said, there's still like, I guess it just will take, maybe it'll take 5-10 years for a real shift in attitude. I don't know.
The stigma's
And hopefully there'll be some research and whatever, like,
right, the stigma's got to go. The stigma is just,
yeah.
For everything.
Yes, I agree.
Homelessness, drugs, harm reduction, safe injection sites, trauma, mental health, all the stigma around all of that has to go.
Totally
But
does.
like, we need to end poverty. And until we fucking figure out how we're going to end poverty, we're never going to get to the root of the trauma. Because a lot of the trauma is led to because of poverty. Because
I
there's,
think, people should think of poverty as like violence. Because I think it is. I think when people are living in poverty, I'm not even just talking about, I'm talking about the violence and the shame of not having enough to eat, and just there's so many forms of it. It should be against humanity to allow poverty, is the way I see it.
Right, but again, like I said, women go out and will sell their bodies, go and get into the sex trade to feed their children. Men go out and sell drugs to feed their children because they can't maintain a job for whatever reason that they can't maintain a job. When you're in poverty, when you're in a situation, even if you have a full-time, low-paying job, women are out working in the sex industry or selling drugs, and men are doing the same thing. And before legalization, we were selling weed, making candy, doing whatever we could in the gray market to make extra money. Why? Because we live in fucking poverty. And poverty is not like, we're not talking like $1,000 a month. We're talking $1,000 a month. And if you're living on $1,000 a month, you're definitely living in poverty. Like, the rents are fucking. I'm looking at rents for a friend of mine who wants to move here. Even for a house, is $2,500. $1,200 for a 1-bedroom apartment. And I'm like, so your disability check's $1,000, but your rent's $1,200. How does that work? So, like I said, the basic bottom line, which leads to trauma, is poverty. Because then children are left alone because mommy and daddy are never home because they're out working 2 or 3 jobs, selling weed, selling their ass, doing whatever they need to do to make sure there's enough money to pay for the roof over the fucking their head and put groceries on the table. Never mind the Jordans they want on their feet. You know what I mean? Like,
good point. Yeah, a lot of struggles
and
going
that's
on.
the thing with social issues. Like, social issues are bigger than just one cause. It all filters down. But at the end of it all, it's poverty. Poverty starts the whole ball rolling. And if you have people living in straight up poverty, then there's trauma, then there's mental health, then there's addiction, and it all filters together because you start from poverty. It's just, and like I said, people don't want to talk about a universal benefit because they're like, oh yeah, drug addicts will just do more drugs, and
Ireland's gonna do it apparently.
Nobody will work. They'll just be a bunch of lazy bums sitting around. And it's like, no, they won't.
I know.
Like, why don't you see it for what it would be? But you even bring up that you're a socialist. Are you a communist? Like, so it's like I just keep my mouth shut, move along. Yeah, which is not. But I believe in a universal benefit too. But again, people think that that's something that you're paying taxes for that. Somebody's doing welfare. Well, you'd still be getting it too while you were paying your taxes, so you could get it. I don't know how to explain it to you. Because
Ireland's gonna do it. Ireland's doing universal basic income. God bless Ireland.
Right.
So when Ireland does, it'll be very interesting because definitely a country like Canada will look at how Ireland does with it, and every country that does it does better. Like, that's just because, like you say, once you eradicate,
what do you think they're gonna do to Boris? Are they
You know,
good?
I have to admit, I love watching British Parliament when they're like having their fights because they're so good with their words. It's like, and man, do they ever they just tear them apart, and it's it's fun watching. It's fun watching because that's really good democracy. You know, they can be mean and ruthless. They're not usually swearing so much. But you know, they can be belittling, and they know how to cut you down with their fancy words really fast. And, you know, but
oh my God! Like seriously,
you know,
like dear
Boris didn't know he was at the party.
It was a hologram.
He didn't know he was at a party. There we go on. One guy was going on.
There with a cake.
God. We're over our time, babe.
Yeah, well, peace and be with everybody.
Peace and love.
Let's hope that by next week.
Peace and love.
Yeah.
Hello, above.
Oh, there's my
Good thing I'm not singing.
Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye, babes.
Okay, bye.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.